pleasant time to all of you. Welcome to another ChaSpeaks video. This is the first episode of the Learning 101 series. This time, we talk about how to love our students to love learning and have a conversation with you on how to become compassionate and understanding teachers to our students. In this video, we will try to have a discussion on the basic needs that we must know when we get into our classroom, either face-to-face or digital classes. But before I continue, if you are new in this channel, please like, subscribe, and share my videos on ChaSpeaks. So just like any teaching activity, let's ensure our objectives are clear. At the end of this video, we hope to be more understanding and compassionate teachers, strategic teachers who can encourage or teach our students to consistently be the best learners, supportive teachers to students' learning process using appropriate teaching frameworks, objective teachers in knowing what and how students have learned, and proficient teachers who can conduct assessment effectively. For us on the same page, let's review basic concepts that we should know by heart. These are teaching, learning, and assessment. So what is teaching? What is learning? And what is assessment? Teaching is the concerted sharing of knowledge and experience, which is usually organized within a discipline and more generally the provision of stimulus to psychological and intellectual growth of a person by another person, usually the teacher or the guru. Learning is the process that students pass through to acquire new knowledge and skills and ultimately influence their attitudes, decision, and action. Lastly, assessment is the systematic collection, review, and use of information about educational programs and services undertaken for the purpose of quality improvement, planning, and decision making. To know more about student assessment, watch my other instructional videos on Assessment 101 on the same channel, ChaSpeaks. So let's start our conversation with these three important points to help us become a more understanding and compassionate teachers and help our students to love learning. We should realize that there is no perfect formula for academic success. But if we are able to love our students to love learning, that's already a big achievement. There are 3 points to remember. Every student is different. Every student has a story to share, and every student is destined to succeed. Before we proceed, let's do this short exercise. I want you to remember one of your best teachers or mentors who inspired you to succeed. Why? So I will give you a minute to remember one. Now, share how you were supported and inspired by this teacher or mentor who you will never forget. You can share your thoughts and comments in the comment section of this video. Thank you for sharing, and I hope this exercise will generate some exchange of ideas among many of us. So, allow me to share some of thoughts and ideas about what every student needs to love learning and succeed in school and beyond school. Here are a dozen things that every student needs to love and succeed academically in life. First, every student needs self-love. Here are basic questions that every student asks to know himself or herself. Who am I? How do I relate to the world around me? What is required of me? How can I provide value to my family and friends I value? Where do I have been, and where am I going? And part of sense of self is a sense of place, the places and communities the student is embedded within and chooses for himself or herself. Second, every student needs inspiring models and modeling. Models offer ideas, can act as scaffolding, enlighten possibility, and provide a pathway and give students something to anchor their thinking to when everything else seems abstract and very academic. The more creative, authentic, inspiring, and diverse we are, the better chance that every student can be reached. Third, every student needs to know how to learn. Every student needs to know how to learn or have learning strategies. And they need to know those strategies as well or better than the content. And they need ones that make sense to them, that they don't that they understand and can grow with it. Don't tell them about knowledges because research says so. They need smart, intelligent, useful, flexible learning strategies that they can and will use unprompted because they know they need them. And part of this is the ability and tendency to think critically and creatively. Fourth, every student needs feedback, not judgment. A feedback we give to every student helps acts as guidance to them. It may be corrective, but can be comforting. When we give feedback, let's avoid stating it as a judgment because judgment is personal and emotional and it hurts. We tell our students we won't always get that part perfect, but if we can at least try to hear ourselves and know the difference, we're better off than we could be otherwise. We often can't tell how our learning feedback sounds, no matter how we mean it for it to sound. Fifth, every student needs creative spaces. Students need physical and psychological space. This could be physical or digital, alone or in a group, with apps or robotics or paint process makes learning or academic self-directed or outcomes based. Creativity isn't something that's added on. It's an honoring of a basic human need for self-expression and self-direction. Hence, we need to encourage each student to find its best learning space and identify tools that make them creative and think critically. Six, every student needs ideas or the chance to share their own. We should bear in mind that our students are infinitely more clever than the design of most schools and curriculum, especially now that we now have technology driven instruction seems to suggest that they are they are still growing with widely diverse background of knowledge and schema. More often than not, our students need ideas, and that's all they need, an idea and for you to get out of the way. Allow our students to share their ideas. Each student may have a unique and brilliant ideas. Of course, some students may have obnoxious ideas, but they are worth reflecting on. Seven, every student needs a reason. It is important that we listen to our students. Their reasons may not be acceptable to us, but if no one is really truly listening, barring exceptional ambition, why bother? Every student needs a purpose, a reason to do what they can do. Allowing our students to give their reason is also a way for them to verbalize or articulate what is in their mind and think critically. 8. Every student needs a champion. As earlier shared, students need inspiring models and modeling. Along with this, every student needs a champion, someone to believe in them when their own conviction falters. They need somebody to provide them reassurance and reconfirmation. They need somebody to confirm or affirm them and their ideas. They need somebody to stand for them and they can depend on. 9. Every student needs a chance to practice. Every student needs to be active. They want to explore, discover, and most of all, practice and enhance their skills, either cognitive, physical, or even emotional skills. And not only practice, but with a variety of support, with a variety of collaborators, with technology or without technology, with or without an audience, with or without prescription or instruction, and both ends, but still within their zone of proximal development. Number 10, every student needs to play. Play is a good ingredient for students' development and adjustment and learning. In fact, lots of students learn better through play because their mental and physical skills are utilized. Students are not wanting with ideas and energy. With collaborators, with apps, with digital media, with networks, with their own thinking, with possibility, and with models, they can play unceasingly. Giving them time to play allows them also to learn and develop their critical and creative thoughts. Number 11, every student needs a sense of agency and self-choice or self-efficacy. This is one of a bit a challenge because it's not a teacher action but an outcome of a bunch of factors that we as teachers may have nothing to do with it. But without the belief they can, which is often preceded by complicated notion of self-worth, everything else is left. As we all know, self-efficacy refers to an individual's belief in his or herself, in her capacity to execute behavior necessary to produce performance, specific performance and achievement. This is according to Bandura. And lastly, we all know that self-efficacy refers to the student's belief in his or her ability to solve problems, reach goals, complete a task, and achieve what he or she set out to do. And lastly, every student needs hope. Every student needs hope, a sense that they have a future and some degree of agency and affection in choosing how the future might work out. And all these needs are important for every single student to have them positively in order to succeed inside and outside the classroom or any learning environment. So, as a final takeaway for this episode, how can you become more compassionate teachers to your students? As teachers, we should know our students, develop self awareness, and practice self love. So, this is all for now. Please watch the second episode of this assessment or learning series. And please subscribe to this channel, like, and share my video. Again, this is your learning partner on ChaSpeaks, Dr. Cha Gonzalez. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat po.